Hey guys, welcome to another Test Miles video. I'm Nick Miles, and today we're in Austin, Texas, in the beautiful rolling hills. We're at a winery to take a look at this. This is the brand new Toyota CHR. This is a new vehicle from Toyota, first seen about 2 years ago at the LA Auto Show. It was originally badged as a Scion, but as the Scion brand vacated the Toyota stable, it became part of the Toyota brand. And this vehicle was particularly aimed at millennials. It's trying to get those young, dynamic, expressive people in the millennial age group into the brand. So let's take a look at the outside of the car and a few of the design features of the vehicle. It looks like a very Toyota front. Up front, very classic design that you would see in a lot of the Toyota brands with the badge right in the middle. But there are a few things that are different about this vehicle. It's very expressive, a lot of very curvy lines and a lot of bold lines in this vehicle as well. It sits high off the ground, it's on 18-inch wheels. A lot of its competition will sit on 16-inch wheels, but this is much bigger. It's lifted off the ground, but it's only a front-wheel drive vehicle. But notice the lights here at the side. They go all the way from almost the center of the grille right the way to the edge of the vehicle, and there's only about a foot or so between the end of the lights and the beginning of the windshield. The lights completely wrap around. Now the back end is even more expressive. Now, you've never really seen a design on a vehicle like this one before. Apart from this big spoiler on the back of the trunk, look at the actual rake of this glass. It's almost horizontal. I've never seen a back end of a car with the glass so horizontal as this. Big trunk opening, come down. Look at the complexity of the lines in this vehicle. And the only way they could keep that very specific design so pure in the car was to make a new kind of door handle and keep it away from the side of the door. They put it horizontal. The door handle, very unique. Haven't seen anything like this in a vehicle before. Very high off the ground, lots of very complicated lines, beautiful trim. It almost looks like a fish at the back of the vehicle. Well guys, we've jumped inside the brand new Toyota CHR, and my drive partner today is Jim Nelson. Jim, tell everybody what you do.
I'm a freelance journalist. I'm actually headquartered here in Austin, Texas, so we probably won't get lost today since this vehicle is not equipped with navigation. You can read my stuff quite often at a little website called Texas Garage, and my wife and I, who's also my partner in this venture, she writes outdoor as well as automotive, and you can find her at Texas Fish and Game magazine here in Austin.
Excellent, and her name is Linda Nelson, and she is a tremendous journalist like Jim is. So you've had some time behind the behind the wheel of this 2017, or is it an 18?
This is an 18.
An 18. 2018 CHR. First impressions?
First impressions is sporty. We're driving it in sport mode this morning because both Nick and I prefer a little more oomph under the pedal. It also is eating a little bit of gas, which will gobble some of the gas mileage.
Right.
Find the steering to be responsive, and the steering wheel size is very nice for the handle. It feels planted as it drives. We just came up the Lime Creek Road hill. For those locals, they'll know what that is. And it zipped through some of those corners and switchbacks pretty firmly. It didn't feel like it wanted to leave the road at all. So far, looking fairly good, but we've still got some miles to go.
So I think one of the things that we both noticed is that it's a very European-style engine. This car, of course, is going to be planted all over the world, but the European-style engine is a lot of revs to actually get the power onto the road, right? So we're talking about 144 horsepower, and to actually get that horsepower active onto the road, the engine tends to go up quite a lot in revs. So to pass a vehicle, a little bit of a push, but it does pass it without any problem whatsoever. This car really has been designed initially as a Scion, but has been designed for a car for millennials, a car for younger people. And you can see that in a lot of the things. We've given up, for instance, the daylight opening space has quite a few objects in it, a small rear windshield, we've got a big A-pillar, we've got the quarter glass, we've got mirrors here that obstruct some of the view, and you can't see the front fenders, but at the same time the car is extremely stylish on the outside. So we've given up some visibility, right Jim, to be able to have a beautiful car. The chief engineer for the project was telling us that he had spent a lot of time personally tuning this vehicle for mountain roads, for switchbacks, for sort of spirited driving, and I noticed that compared to some of the competitors, it does handle extremely well. There's almost no body roll whatsoever. So as we took some of those switchbacks, I mean, I wasn't being pushed around in the seat at all. It kept us both very well planted. It's a little hard for me to work out the position of the vehicle on the road because I can't see those front fenders, and so I'm really trying to line up the white lines on the road by the A-pillars and do it that way, which is not the most ideal way to drive the car. Now, one of the things that you can help me with here, Jim, is I never usually have a head or legroom space because I'm only 5'4". You're a much taller guy than myself. Do you feel like you were crammed into this? This is being one of the smallest Toyotas available, right?
It is. I think you would have to. This is an entry-level vehicle, so obviously it is small. Interestingly, it is quite roomy inside, and for a guy who's 6 foot 2 inches tall and maybe was a linebacker in another life, I've got a lot of shoulder room, a lot of leg room. You've got a lot of seat travel here, although it certainly takes away from the back seat space. But the back seat space is adequate for children, or in Nick and my case, a couple of puppies. And so I find it comfortable, supportive seat, nice headroom. The door openings are just a little bit snug at the top. You'll have to duck your head just a little getting into the front seat. But like everything else, once you get the habit, you'll never notice it. And
it's interesting that the chief engineer is 6'2" tall as well, and he designed this specifically for himself. One of the things that sort of is a peel over from the Scion days, originally this was going to be a member of that Scion team, is the entertainment, the infotainment system, which I'm not a big fan of. I like my infotainment systems.
And I would agree. This one's really basic, small dial, small buttons. It is a touch screen.
A lot of great things like voice command. You can pretty much roll everything from the voice. Buttons, Jim pointed this out when we first got in the vehicle, very accessible. I'm not reaching for anything. It's right here. And then the steering wheel, well equipped. Drive modes, interestingly enough, work off the steering wheel, so I can change the drive modes in the car from the steering wheel rather than a drive mode button or a flip switch anywhere, which is the way to do it, right? You save on putting extra switches in and you just use your electronics to do the drive mode. We're taking a drive in the CHR with Andy, who is one of the product trainers at Toyota. Andy, tell me a little bit about this Red Bull thing. You got a whole bunch of Red Bull cans in the back of this vehicle.
You know, just for our curiosity, we wondering how many Red Bulls we would fit. We're able to fit 768 cans of Red Bull in the back, with a seat folded down, of course, in the CHR without impairing any visibility.
So where is that Red Bull now?
Spread through the staff.
You shared it out as a prize to everybody. Let's talk a little bit about this vehicle. Millennials are a very difficult group to tap into. They don't like to own anything. They don't like to pay for anything. But Toyota has taken on the challenge of making a vehicle which is for millennials, and this is it. This is the resulting CHR. So what was the approach with the vehicle?
Well, the approach was very simple in a sense where we want a vehicle that would look striking when you look at it. So a millennial loves that stuff that stands out. So the car design is striking with the aggressive roof line, the aggressive design element, the lines, but also full features. It's basically those two trim, XLE and XLE Premium, and they're very similar, minus some push start button on the XLE Premium, blind spot monitoring, the CHR puddle lights. But there's a lot of features in this vehicle that millennials will love. And secondly, safety. There's TSS standard, there's 10 airbags, so millennial always want to feel like you don't have to think about that, hey, is this car be safe, but it's already there when they need it.
I really like a lot of things about the vehicle. It does come with this R-code design as well, which is an option you can do. So explain to me what the R-code does differently from the rest of the vehicle.
Yeah, the R-code is basically a two-tone variation of the CHR. The roof and exterior mirror are white,
right,
and it comes in 3 colors. You can match it up with the red, the blue, or the Radiant Green Mica. And the Green Mica only comes in the R-Code two-tone variation.
Let's talk a little bit about engineering. Does this share any other platforms or share anything with other Toyota vehicles?
It does. It's on our new TNGA platforms, which stands for Toyota New Global Architecture, and it's shared with the current Prius.
And so this vehicle under the hood, what are we powering the vehicle with?
It's a 2.0 liter dual overhead cam that has 144 horsepower and 139 pound-feet of torque, and has an MPG of 27 city, 31 highway, and 29 combined. And it's paired exclusively to a CVT IS transmission with 7 shift points and 3 drive mode: Eco, Normal, and Sport. But some of the features inside the vehicle, we have dual zone auto AC, we have a 7-inch touchscreen with Bluetooth capability and AHA application, and a nice 4.2 multi-information display between the 2 gauges for all your vehicle information, as well as settings for your TSS piece.
Now it also has some best-in-class features as well.
Yeah, so I'm glad you mentioned that. So with best-in-class 10 airbags, we also have standard Toyota Safety Sense P, and we're the only vehicle in this segment to offer pre-collision with active braking, and we're the only compact crossover to offer a full-speed range dynamic radar cruise control, standard.
And that's outstanding for what you can get in the class. Its competition is probably Honda's HR-V,
Yep.
And maybe the CX-3
That's
from
correct.
Mazda. This only comes in a 2-wheel drive because the people that buy this are probably not going to be doing any sort of off-roading, are they?
Yeah, and initially this car was going to be a Scion when it was first debuted as a concept vehicle, and we want to keep the price point, to where the millennials will feel comfortable with. So all-wheel drive is not offered now. It only comes in front-wheel drive format, but we are studying it. XLE, I believe, is around 22.5, and then the XLE Premium is right under 25.
And that's right on mark with the competition, right?
Yes, but we offer a lot more safety package and more standard feature. We feel it's a really strong value package.
And I will tell you, it's definitely fun to drive this vehicle. We've had it on the windy roads around Austin, and it's really kicks some butt. Last question for you, Andy. When does it go on sale?
April.
So April, if you're into test driving the brand new Toyota CHR, this vehicle will be in showrooms. Thanks for watching, and you can get more information at testmiles.com and see more of our videos.